Thank you, Josh. Give him a hand. Josh is so good. We can never forget to appreciate, people are with us for a while and we forget when they first mesmerized us, and we just assume it's just what we do now. But we have to keep remembering those moments. That's Christmas, that's life. And I'm impressed. We had a little bet going that there'd be, 20 people here today. I counted 30. So I'm impressed, but actually there are how many online? 28 online, so that's about 60 people. So, and probably those online have kids, and those of you here, let's see, either you're single, your kids are grown, or you don't have kids. Did I miss a category? Oh, or you're paid to be here. There you go. So this past Friday, 12:45, a big boom happened at my house. 2 big booms. And we had just had a car accident in front of our house the week before. So imagine, the Friday before, there was a car accident. A lady was on the wrong side of the street coming down our street. And the guy, she was coming this way. The guy coming this way saw her, swerved over here, and hit the lady on this side. The lady coming on the wrong side flew across our yard and into the woods. And so my wife woke me up out of bed, and there's a lady in the woods in our house. Everybody was fine, so I can make a joke about it now. But then the next Friday, the big boom. So now my wife running out the house. I'm like, what in the? I think it's another car accident or something. And she's running down the street, and this lady's house is on fire. Right? Not the house, the yard. Preachers exaggerate. So the yard's on fire because the electricity, the wind had blown really hard, blew off the electrical wire. The wire just flopping everywhere. And Joni says the lady came out the house, and they were like, everybody, get back, lady, get back, So that was my Friday. And when that second boom happened, our lights went out. And became a situation where, you always think, they'll come back on in 20 minutes. And then after a while, you start thinking, this might be really a problem. And then the panic started happening. My children, my son from college, my daughter from Boston's in town, and they're like, what about the Wi-Fi? I'm like, the digital age kid panic happens, How will we eat? We can't open the refrigerator. So it was pretty interesting. And luckily we have a wood stove, and I kept that burning. The house stayed warm for a while, and it started getting cold because it was 8 degrees outside. And now it's Christmas Eve. We had all of these plans for the family, and what are we going to do if we don't have any power? And I'm going to come back to that story. This is my first time preaching on Christmas. I think this happens every 12 years or something like that. And so I'm glad to be here to preach on Christmas, and I have grown children, so so I get the sermon for Christmas Day this year. Christmas, the Mass of Christ. And Mass is a term from Roman Catholicism. It means a death feast, a ceremonial slaying in Roman times. I'm glad there are no kids here today. But it's akin to the crucifixion story of Jesus, or the Holy Eucharist, the Holy Communion. The Mass of Christ has been celebrated in America since the 1700s. It became a holiday in 1870. The origins of Christmas are both religious and secular. But to understand them, we have to go backward to what religion is to understand Christmas and how it's evolved over the last 152 years. All religion, I've preached this before, I keep saying it because for me it's profound. It gives me a deeper understanding of every religion, including Roman Catholicism. when you get this point, that religions began as naturalistic, earth-based, and cosmological. Religion began as worship of nature, trees, animals, air, wind, fire, but mainly around these big orbs in the sky, the sun and the moon. So religion is considered to be astrotheological, originating from the human need for meaning amidst chaos. And in these tribes, these gifted tribal seers emerged as interpreters of nature and the cosmos. I'm sort of an inheritor of that tradition, interpreter of nature and the cosmos. Every preacher is. And they were the original healers, the shamans, right? They would take plants and herbs and tree bark. They studied nature and how it reacts. They discovered patterns and the way their people could understand their planet and the natural laws. They studied the movement of the sun and the moon. They worshiped these powerful forces, giving them names, creating stories and lore. This is the origin of religion, which gets to the origins of Christmas. Christmas is a pagan religion. All religion is pagan religion. So there is no really difference other than what the systems and institutions try to put on human beings, but all religion is pagan religion, worship of the cosmos, nature. So before Rome conquered England and most of Europe, the tribal people there were already worshiping the trees, the land, the stars, the Druids, the Celts. Before they were Christianized, they had a long pattern of celebrating and revering the two solstices and the equinoxes. And so we have Christmas, which is based on the winter solstice on or around December 21st or December 22nd. Their conquerors, the Romans, had rulers who had become Christianized. It was the religion of empire in the 300s. But prior to that, even the Romans followed their pagan beliefs, earth-based religions, ancient religions that taught about worship of the sun and the moon. And something significant happened, they knew, toward the end of December. The ancients have known this for a long time, that the longest night gave way to more light. In fact, there are many stories around the globe, myths created, lore created about these solstices, as I said. It represents the powers of the cosmos, showing human beings that light prevails over darkness. Life prevails over death. And truly, light literally meant life to people back then. More light and warmer weather allowed agriculture to flourish. It wasn't the cold, dark death of winter, but the warm, light life of spring that promised rebirth and renewal. So Easter or spring solstice and winter solstice essentially mean the same thing to the ancients. Christmas and Easter are modern versions of the old pagan practices that promised a return of the light, a resurrection of the sun, S-U-N, which means that every aspect of the birth of the Christ story is metaphorical. It is symbolism expressing renewal and rebirth and regeneration. This baby, every baby that is born, every child that is born represents that hope, that renewal to community, to family. And if you want to appreciate Christmas more, look deeper into its origins and look at it symbolically. The colors of Christmas, white, purity like snow. We think of snow, we slow down, we get introspective, we go inside. We have rebirth, new thoughts. Red, the color of blood, but it's also action, it's change, dedication, commitment. And birth, the blood from the placenta, from the actual birth of creation, of humanity, the blood that flows through our veins. It is life. Green, it is nature. It is earth. Virgin birth, purity like the color white. Purity of that new thought, that new consciousness, that new creation. All symbolic. The tree, the sacred triangle in sacred geometry, the most powerful symbol in Kabbalah. We put stars on the tree. Oh, we do. Follow the star and find the boy. The wise men did just that, studying the movement of the stars. That's the equinoxes and the solstices. These ancient practices predate Christianity, but the date, December 25th, was chosen in 336. Christianity became the religion of empire to align Jesus' birth with the pagan solstice practices or celebrations. No one really knows when Jesus was born. The addition of Santa Claus, no kids here today. If you're online, let your kids know to go play with their toys. Santa Claus came to us in the 1700s, but the legend of Saint Nick goes back to the 280s in the Common Era and tells the story of a generous and kind monk who was said to have given all his wealth away, traveled the countryside to help the sick and the poor. The name Santa Claus is originally Dutch, Sinterklaas, but he wasn't necessarily a nice guy. He was called a rascal. The Santa Claus we know today is essentially a marketing brand, a way for businesses to make money. The gift giving is tied to the gifts baby Jesus was given and the generosity of St. Nick. I hope I don't sound like Alexander Scrooge today. It's like, Jesus! Literally, Jesus. But do people really think about the birth of Jesus anymore and what that means on Christmas? Do we? How many of us even give it one thought? Do people in large quantity even know about the solstice? Do any kids still believe in Santa? All the mysteries are gone today. We've secularized the holiday so much so, then what's left? Maybe I should be a Scrooge because there's something deeper here. It certainly is about generosity and gratitude, of course. Love and support for those we care about most. And it still makes us happy and thankful, creates memories for families to share. And it creates a lot of stress too. Puts a lot of us in debt, and creates some memories we would like to forget. Christmas brings a lot with it, a history of subjugation, intolerance by Rome and Europe, America, but it also brings reverence and innocence. So it's a lot. But if we go deeper with Christmas into those ancient origins, we began to see a narrative of humans trying to understand themselves and the cosmos and the world around them better. And the miracles, the Christmas miracles, the birth of the boy, two lowly people, not very important people, happens every day. That greatness can come from the least of these. There is a story there that we can cling to, that we can celebrate and preach and take to the community. And especially the miracles that happen, back to my story, losing power. They have all of these things planned. It's a little stressful now. We're getting upset. It's turned into 12 hours now. And now we're making a decision like, Maybe we need to go sleep in the sanctuary at the church. We're trying to figure out, well, let's maybe go get an Airbnb. I decide that I need to, all the devices are dead now, so I got to go to church to power everybody's stuff up and write my sermon. And there I was, I got to the office and the heat doesn't work here. It's working in here, we got it on the emergency heat in here, but out there it's cold, 49 degrees in my office. So there I am, now I'm even mad. I'm trying to write a sermon, and it's 49 degrees, my fingers are frozen. I'm tired of being cold. And it's Christmas Eve. Bah humbug. And Joni calls and she's like, I'm working on getting us an Airbnb, and we're going back and forth. And then she reaches out again and she's like, I'm about to cry. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, you're not going to believe this. I reached out to this guy. He lives right over here on he's right over in Ridgely. He says we can stay at his Airbnb, and he gave it to us for free. It's a $400 a night Airbnb. He said, if I can't do this for someone on Christmas, then when can I ever do anything nice in my whole life? So he decides that he wants to be Santa for Christmas. Now we've got a place to stay. Now all of a sudden I can feel my whole body warming up. And I'm excited and get finished writing the sermon. I get home and we have this thing like if we don't have heat by 2:30, then we're going over to the B&B. We kind of wanted to go over, just like, it's free, man. It's free. So Joni's packing up and I'm thinking, I don't know what I want to do. We got all the gifts. Everything's organized here. And it's 2:25 and Joni's like, I'm going to pack. It's time. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm like, yeah. I said, we said we would leave at 2:30. It's 2:25. 2:30. And she goes and packs. And so at 2:30 on the nose, the light comes on. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. I just couldn't believe it. It was the solstice. It was a solstice from darkness to light. It just happened. It was a miracle. And I said, we actually really experienced what the ancients experienced, right? We had a literal experience of it. So we didn't get to go to the Airbnb. Did you thank him? Okay, we thanked him. There it was, Christmas for us. So, I'm pretty much done.
Warm now.
I'm warm. The gym. Look for the gym. Look for the gym today. As you enjoy Christmas with your family and your friends, the miracles, the little miracles, sometimes the big miracles. It's a complex story. Our lives are complex. But truly, enjoy your day. Have a Merry Christmas. And if I don't see you, have a Happy New Year. May it be so. Amen.